In our KSAT Q&A, the Texas legislature wraps up on Monday, but a lot of the business has already been done. We are joined by Scott Braddock from the Quorum Report, and if you look at his card, it just says the man at the Quorum Report. That's what it says, the man. So he joined. That's right. Yeah, he joined us. He's been following the legislature. That's kind of his job. And Scott, I appreciate you being with us again. Sure. There's been a lot of talk, obviously, in February. We need to do better. We need to winterize. We need to upgrade ERCOT. We need to do all these different things. Has anything been done to address the power grid, winterization, all of that stuff that was talked about before the session even started?
Well, with 5 days, 5 hours, 27 minutes, and 24 seconds left to go, not that I'm counting in this legislative session, we do have the countdown clock there at quorumreport.com. They have done some things. Senate Bill 3, for example, is the, as they call it, the omnibus electricity grid bill. Omnibus just means the aircraft carrier for every proposal having to do with the electricity grid, just about. They have done some things, including requiring some winterization of our natural gas facilities across the state. One of the problems that we got into that we'd never want to be in again is that we couldn't produce electricity because natural gas couldn't get to the electricity plants, and we couldn't get the gas out of the ground because there was no electricity. Never want to see that ever again. And so this is going to attack that in a targeted way to make sure that certain natural gas facilities are winterized. There is some investment to be done there. This is going to cost money. Does it cost the ratepayers or the state or the folks who actually own these facilities? That's always the question. And as your viewers know very well, and you know, it's always the ratepayer or the taxpayer at the end of the day who ends up on the hook for the cost of it. So we're going to see where this shakes out in the final analysis. There's still some massaging to be done of the legislative language. The other thing that they're doing on that has to do with changing the ERCOT and the Public Utility Commission Board, the makeup of those, as well as creating a statewide alert system when you do have power outages. You remember during the winter storm, there were people who thought they were only going to lose their power for about 30 or 45 minutes, and they ended up without power for 5 days. We have to have better communication than that, and that's something that looks like is on track to be done.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has requested the governor call for a special session immediately with the 5 days and some change that you're keeping track of left to go here. Explain what's behind that request and what he's hoping to accomplish.
Well, it's interesting. Our sources at Quorum Report overnight and this morning were suggesting that the lieutenant governor is getting very upset that more isn't being done to address what we were just talking about. You know, a more robust response to the winter storm emergency is what the lieutenant governor would like to see. He has made public comments along those lines as well. But this morning, he asked the governor, Greg Abbott, to call an immediate special session in June to address 3 conservative priorities. Those have to do with banning transgender girls from playing on UIL sports teams in high schools across Texas, as well as cracking down on social media that, as former President Trump has accused of Facebook and Twitter of quote unquote, censoring conservative speech. A big Senate priority, as well as cracking down on certain activities by lobbyists in Austin. That's one of the lieutenant governor's priorities. He wants to see a special session on all this. Right now, I would note with some irony, as I did on Twitter earlier today, it's hard to take the lieutenant governor seriously about cracking down on lobbyists when he, this week, is inviting Austin lobbyists to a fundraiser in June 28th. Save the date if you want to be there for the fundraiser. So what's he really doing here? It looks to me like he's trying to cue this up to do more on the electricity grid because all of those conservative priorities he's talking about could easily be added to a special session that's guaranteed anyway this fall that the governor has said that he will call, dealing with redistricting, which does need to be done prior to the next elections.
Right. At least one special session's going to happen.
Yeah. For sure. Absolutely. And that's of course delayed, as we talked about here on KSAT previously, because the census was delayed. And so lawmakers don't have the data for redistricting that they normally do have at pretty much at the beginning of the regular legislative session. Otherwise, they'd be working on that one now.
What is the headline from this session, do you think? Like, what is the 2 or 3 biggest things that were accomplished by the Texas legislature?
You know, it's hard to say, Steve. It's a great question, but it's sort of like a red meat buffet right now in Austin. It's all the conservative red meat, very low carb, so at least I guess it's good for you in that respect. But the fact of the matter is, we went from a session that was going to be laser focused, as you remember, on COVID-19, the response to that. It looked like the economy might still be questionable, but the economy has really started to come back as the reopenings happened late last year and this year. And the fact is that, and then you had the winter storm we were talking about, which sort of sucked the oxygen out of the room at the Capitol for at least about a month. But here at the end, everything has sort of become scattershot, and it's all about Republican lawmakers trying to make sure that the voters who participate in the election of consequence in Texas, which is the GOP primary, that those voters are pleased with them. And so they are checking all these boxes, of these conservative issues and passing bills on those things so that Republican incumbents can say that they did the things that conservatives want them to do.
And 5 days left, so we'll see how things shake out here at the end. Scott Braddock with the Quorum Report. As always, thanks for your time.
Something tells me Scott can tell us down to the second. I appreciate your time, Scott. Take care.
Steve, Myra, thank you.
We'll be right back.